It's about time you all heard my voice again. After all this time. Alright guys, we finally did it! 100 videos! Yeah, yes! Yeah! Honestly, I didn't think we were gonna make it this far. Anyways, in my early days, I wanted to show off my selfMOC once I hit 100 videos, and, well, here we are, building the current rendition of said selfMOC. Now, since I made that goal, a lot of stuff has changed for me. I started watching anime, exploring new art software, got into digital drawing, and so we're actually going to be building not just my selfMOC, but also a couple of OCs I formulated for some of the animes I watch, as well as designing a background for all three of them. And right now, as you can see, we're just getting done with my selfMOC's shield/wings. Do note that I have lore for all these guys, which I'll link in the description of this video. But for his brief lore, he was originally a Hero Factory hero who was abducted by alien forces but escaped the Sphere's magnet. Oh, wait, never mind. We're done with them. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, moving on, we now have my My Hero Academia OC, Ryban, aka the Freshwater Hero Moray Thunder. Brief bio, he's basically Tsuyoasumi's next door neighbor and childhood friend who replaces Mineta after the 1A students move into dorms. And as you can see right now, I started with his arms because his hero costume comes with a pair of modified Tampa, and I wanted to do something a bit interesting with the way I built his hands. Right now we're onto the feet, which contain some flippers. Now the torso itself was probably the trickiest part of his whole build because I wanted to get the details on the front to be the same as the details on the back. You'll see what I mean later, but basically I ended up attaching some 2x brackets to a Technic brick in his waist joint, and then using some bricks with the studs coming off from the side to help fill in the gaps. I'll be the first to admit this setup wasn't what I was expecting to use, but I'm actually kind of glad that it worked out the way it did. So yeah, just filling in the sides there. And finally we're getting to his head, which is really standard for a lot of my builds. If you follow me elsewhere, you're probably familiar with the way I set up these kinds of heads. Oh, before I forget, so I originally didn't have the blank pieces that I used on my selfMOC shield of the Ritter because I didn't have them in my custom parts menu. I did thankfully go back and fix that before setting up the background, so no need to comment about that. And now we're covering over the waist part to set up my Demon Slayer OC, Ryutaro Cheetah. Sadly, unlike my selfMOC and Moray Thunder, I don't have a lot of lore set up for Ryutaro. The only thing I have for him is that he formulated his own breathing style after picking up a little bit of some of the other breathing styles during his training, and would go on to name it Dragon Breathing, or Tatsu no Kokyu. Alright, getting down to his torso. I was sadly stuck with how to do the press on the back of his Jinbaori, and as you'll see, I had to pull in a palette for an official set because there was a particular piece that I wanted to use for it, but forgot what it was called and where it was kept. Basically, it's the hexagon-shaped plate with an axle hole in the middle and clips sticking out from all 6 vertices. As you can see, we're taking care of that. The arms are also a bit interesting because it's actually pretty tricky to replicate loose clothing on this kind of art style. And now we're getting done with his head. Getting that extra bit of hair there. Getting it posed. And yeah, as you saw, the legs decided to stitch themselves together, making them tricky to pose. Alright, we're finally on to sketching the background. Now the plan for the background was pretty simple. Blue base, eel on one side, dragon on the other, and some lightning bolts here and there for decorations. Since Ray's an electric eel, my selfMOC has a lightning dragon motif, and Ryutaro is a dragon breather. Now the electric eel was pretty simple. There wasn't much to it other than the fact that I decided to give him lightning bolt shaped eyes with some lightning effects coming out of them, since, well, it is an electric eel. So right now we're just coloring in his spots, giving him some shading, and finally the lightning effects. Alright, finally we're moving on to the dragon. And the dragon was actually kind of tricky, especially with the head. He ended up having to follow a tutorial for the dragon's head, which I'll also try to link in the description below. And honestly, I'm glad that I did follow the tutorial. And right now, we're just planning out his wings, doing the final lining. You'll also see later on, but I also did something pretty cool with the scales. Basically, after I did the main shading, I drew in a bunch of squiggly lines here and there to try and give off the illusion of scales going all across the dragon's body. It's not perfect, but it's not the first time that I've done this sort of technique on a reptilian creature. Just coloring in the belly, and here we have those lines that I brought up earlier. All that's left now is the shade of the dragon and drawing some lightning bolts. Okay, and we're just about wrapped up. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more videos like this, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.